Ready? All right. It's 6:30. I hereby call to order this meeting of the City Council. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll observe a moment of silence. Thank you. Announcements, awards, special recognition. We have a presentation of an award to the Peachtree City Running Club for being recertified by the Roadrunners Club of America as being a runner-friendly community. So I would like to ask the president of the Peachtree City Running Club, Shelley Collins, to please meet me at the podium. Was founded in 1981. It is one of the largest running clubs in the entire metro Atlanta area. Members of the running club are all ages and abilities, walkers, and runners from all walks of life. Their support in this community has been steadfast for decades. They provide a wide variety of events. They give scholarships. They provide support for local schools. This last year, they were pivotal in getting the support that we needed and the encouragement that council needed to hear in order to secure funding for a brand new running track. And they are the go-to organization for any running events in Peachtree City. I couldn't be more proud to provide you this award. This is from the Roadrunners Club of America, certifying 2023 through 2028 that Peachtree City is hereby designated as an official RRCA runner-friendly community.
Thank you guys so much. I'm Shelley Collins. I'm the current president of the running club, and I just wanted to express my gratitude to the mayor and city council and to all of our city employees, city managers, public works, public safety for their continued support and protection. As you know, running by yourself is kind of scary, whether you're male or female. And here at Peachtree City, we don't worry about that for the most part. We run in groups, we run by ourselves, we feel very safe here. I would like to say special heartfelt thanks to city managers and public works, public safety. To get this award, you have to demonstrate to the RRCA that you have a well-lit, well-supported, solid infrastructure to support safe running in our community. We cannot do that without local government support, so we just are very, very grateful. They prioritize safety and accessibility, and we are very proud to be a part of such a community. So thank you again for all that you've done for us.
Do we have public comment?
Yes. The first person signed up to speak is Robin Brown.
Hi there, I'm Robin Brown. I live at 101 Sandtrap Ridge, and I'm just going to read the statement. Peachtree City Code, Section 302.2, grading and drainage. All premises shall be graded and maintained to prevent the erosion of soil and to prevent the accumulation of stagnant water thereon or of any structure thereon. The exterior open space shall be maintained or improved to provide for the immediate diversion of water away from structures and proper drainage on premises. Grass planting or other suitable ground cover to prevent erosion. Our neighbors, Steve and Ashley Newton, have regraded their entire backyard with heavy machinery in an effort to stop pooling water on their property. They have completely changed the topography of the original lot. They have redirected all of the water from their property down to the structure of our fence and onto our property. They dredged a deep trench along the fence line to capture this water. They built a massive dry creek bed on top, but there's no proper drainage. They have put a silt screen up against our fence and piled dirt and rock 2 feet high against the fence. This fence is fully 1 to 2 feet within our property along the length of the creek bed. They are using this wood fence and this rock as a berm to capture all the runoff from their yard. Having nowhere to go, this creek bed overflows immediately at the lowest point right above our patio into our pool. We are $50K into a $100,000 pool remodel. The remodel had to be stopped because of flooding. J&M Pool says that a pool can't even be maintained under these conditions. A pool has been on this property for 25 years without issue. We have gone back that far to speak to former owners. We have since been living on a filthy construction site, an empty dirt hole where a pool should be. Violation. They have diverted all of the water from their property to the structures of our fence, patio, pool, and home. We have photos of them piping water from their downspouts directly to our fence at the worst possible spot right above our pool patio. They did this after knowing that we were already being flooded. Violation. No proper drainage. There are no pipes carrying water away from the creek bed, only into it. No attempt to divert water away from our structures. Violation. Erosion. The erosion is significant and accelerating. The creek bed erodes toward the lowest point with every rain. The creek bed tilts further toward our property with every rain. It's now basically a funnel toward our property. During last week's storm, our empty 8-foot deep pool almost completely filled with runoff from their property. If it hadn't been there, our home would have been flooded. We have had 6 local landscapers to our house, and none of them will even give us an estimate to fix things, as they all say the fence line is too unstable. It is eroding too quickly to guarantee any work. All said they've never seen anything like this in Peachtree City. All of them asked why code has allowed it. The entire fence line is further eroded and destabilized because our neighbors thought it was a good idea to dig up hard-packed clay and bury 50-gallon barrels near the fence line to capture runoff. Obviously, these fill up within moments of storm and create the added problem of water being forced toward our property from underground. Water comes out from under our patio directly through our recently poured concrete of our pool. Our engineering report states that these barrels are compromising the integrity of the entire fence line due to increased erosion. Our fence is collapsing from the weight of rock and water and ongoing erosion. It is deteriorating from constant saturation. We are in a situation where we can't even replace this fence, which is well within our own property, because our neighbors have piled tons of rock against it and are using it as a berm. This fence line becomes an actual pond during a rainstorm. We have numerous photos. Also, the silt fence, which code enforcement advised the Newtons to place illegally against our property, within our property, is deteriorating, allowing mud and clay to come through the fence with runoff. Violation, stagnant water. There was stagnant water along the fence all summer. We have numerous date stamps photos. This is a breeding ground for mosquitoes. It is also a health hazard, as this stagnant water, which also contains feces from 2 large dogs, overflows and floods onto our property with every rain. Onto our patio, into our pool. Our engineering report states this as a likely EPA violation. As for ground cover, they have placed rocks on top of plastic along the hillside, increasing runoff. They have added at least 2 areas of significant hardscape angled toward our property. They have removed almost every tree on their property. We would love to put up trees and bushes along our fence for privacy, but it's impossible, as the ground is almost always saturated and the fence must be replaced. We have hundreds of photos and videos as evidence that 302.2 is being violated, a full hydrological report from an engineer. Every aspect of this code is being violated. Why are these codes in writing if they will not be enforced or at least properly investigated? We invite anyone in the city to come see for themselves. Between the mayor and council, there are 3 engineers represented. Come take 5 minutes on our property and explain to us how this is not a gross violation of code. Explain to us how some citizens are allowed to violate these codes so blatantly and destroy the property and well-being of other citizens.
Thank
Next
you.
person-
Do we have another public comment?
Yes, next person signed up to speak is Neil Jaffe.
Good evening. My name's Neil Jaffe. My wife, Robin, just spoke. We retired here to Peachtree City in July of 22. We bought a beautiful house in March of that year and paid a premium because it was restored and ready to move in. It had a beautiful large backyard with a focus on the pool from the kitchen and living room. We had a full home, pool and property inspection on the rainiest day of March 22. There were no issues. We'd never bought a house with the issues we have now. When the Newtons regraded their property, and the flooding began around March of 23, we tried to maintain good relations with them. When Steve talked about burying 50-gallon barrels as a solution, we were concerned enough that we offered to pay half the cost of fixing the issue properly with an engineering plan. We sent Lee Hearn, who was an engineer, to meet with Newton. Newton was committed to his plan. After all communication broke down, Newton had A. Abbey Group doing work on his property to fix the problem. After a brief rain, I texted Mike Leedy and told him that the flooding was worse. I said we would still be interested in working with them and an engineer to fix this, possibly piping water through our yard. We were very eager to get our pool finished and put this behind us. He said he would come meet with us. Instead, he sent 2 of his workers to run pipes directly from Newton's downspouts to our fence, right above our pool. We've tried to get the city to help us, but no one will even answer an honest question with a straight answer. I don't really know what we could have done differently. Why aren't the codes enforced? Why are some citizens allowed to blatantly break them and others just forced to suffer the consequences? We're in our 60s. The stress from this situation has been enormous. We moved to what we thought was a beautiful, peaceful, and safe city, and we don't understand its unwillingness to uphold its basic rules. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have another public comment?
Next person signed up to speak is Carrie Cook.
Good evening. My name is Kerry Cook, and I live at 152 Lakeside Drive. I must confess first that I'm a pickleholic. I was diagnosed with this a few weeks ago by my wife. Just a little humor here. I want to express my concerns about the city's proposed plan to construct pickleball courts at the tennis center sometime this year using SPLOST funds of about $750,000. And after construction, remove the pickleball courts at the Braylon Recreation Center and replace them back with tennis courts. I understand that some residents who live adjacent to the courts have asked the city to remove the courts because of the noise from pickleball play there. It's my understanding, though, that the courts at the center have now been played on for more than 2 years, close to 27 months now, I think. So pickleball has been played there for many months prior to, I think, these complaints, this complaint by this one person. I would note that there has been and continues to be noise generated at the same recreation area. If you're down there at the Braylon Recreation Center, there are basketball courts. Basketballs make noise. Volleyball or soccer or softball makes noise down there too. It's a recreation center. I might note too that as you consider the noise at Braylon, there are other recreation facilities in the city's villages. And we do have the village concept here, and if you think of that, you've got houses and you've got recreation facilities. Most houses are adjacent to the recreation facilities. Another example, I guess, or a couple of examples would be Picnic Park. You know, right over here, you've got the beautiful recreation place for the kids to play. It's right next to City Hall, but it's also right behind houses. If you go over to the Glenlock Recreation Center, what do you have there? You've got a swimming pool. You've got 6, I think, tennis courts. You've got the skate park there. That's noise. Now, where is that located? Right across the street from houses. So the courts and recreation facilities are built near houses. Presently, and I don't know how many of you know about GroupMe, but GroupMe is used to communicate, to get people together, like to play pickleball. And I'll just note that as of today, and I checked it on the GroupMe, there are 477 pickleball players on the Braylon Recreation Center GroupMe. Now that's just the GroupMe. We have kids down there, we have families that come down various times of the day on the weekends and play, so there's a lot of people that have been using the 6 courts for the past 2 years. I think that the city's proposed plan does not serve the best interests of the city's pickleball players, especially those who live in the South Side area. As we all know, if you've ever gone to Walmart or if you've ever gone to Home Depot and you go east to west, you go through a heck of a lot of traffic. It's time consuming and it's very frustrating to get over there. I personally don't like the idea of going to the tennis center to play just because of all the traffic I've got to endure to go over there. And I was looking over there, I think it was yesterday, there's not much parking there at the tennis center either. So parking has got to be addressed if 6 courts or 12 courts are put in up there. We do need more courts. I suggest that the city consider placing additional pickleball courts down at the Braylon Recreation Center. Maintain those that we've got, but expand the facility. With the acreage there, additional courts could be built in the center area of the recreation area. Also, in addressing the noise concern at the existing courts, consideration could be given to placing mature Leland cypress trees or other trees, some type of wall there to also mute the noise from the courts. I ask you to please don't remove the Braylon pickleball courts. It's such an asset for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other public comment?
No.
Okay. Agenda changes, council? Minutes, January 4th, 2024, regular meeting minutes. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion to approve?
Yep, that's what I said, so moved.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Quarterly reports, fourth quarter 2023. Any comments, questions from council? I noticed that we now have more than 3,000 downloads of the new Navigate PTC app. So hopefully we double that in the next couple of months. What do you say?
Yes. I have only one comment. Congratulations to the staff. They're putting together something that's both readable and visual, and they put it online. They've given us beautiful copies of this. I can't thank them enough. For me, instead of going to read all the different things, I can look at these reports and I can find out what's going on in the city. So I encourage everybody, all the citizens, go look at it online. You'll get to understand our city and what we spend our money on and all the good things that we do in this city.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right, consent agenda. A, fiscal year 2024 budget amendment, donation acceptance for water fountain. B, amphitheater stage ceiling reconstruction. C, replacement of grounds leaf debris loader. Can I get a motion?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to accept the consent agenda items A, B, and C.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. And we just accepted a $12,493 donation from the Peachtree City Running Club for a freeze-resistant drinking fountain at Battery Way.
Yes.
Thanks very much. Old agenda items, we have none. New agenda item, 12404, Fayette County Resurfacing, IGA, Dave Borkowski. Jonathan Miller.
I don't think your microphone is working.
AV people. Now? Better? Okay.
Get close to it.
Okay. So this agenda item
Better.
is in regard to Huddleston Road. It's on the 2019 Fayette County TIP project for repaving, so we started that quite a ways ago. But since that time, other projects have come up regarding Huddleston Road, the sewer project, left turn lanes. And as those projects have progressed, it's become apparent that a significant portion of that road is going to have to be reworked and tore up due to those projects. So for that reason, we're recommending that council approve removing Huddleston Road from the attached paving agreement with Fayette County and authorize the mayor to sign a new one if required. So it's more or less a formality. We don't see the need in actually paving the road and then tearing it back up. So
Amen.
that's why we brought it.
All right, thank you. Any questions, council?
I have just one question, Jonathan, just for the record. We're not going to lose this money from the county, are we? We're just going to have to postpone it for another time.
Well, no, the federal money will actually go back into the TIP and it could be used. We have other roads on there. We have Kelly Drive, we have Ebenezer, and we have McIntosh Trail. So these are all cost estimates. If any of those roads go over, obviously that money will be used there. We can always apply for another tip with the county. Our match, the 100,000, will not go into this project. That's what was estimated as our portion for Huddleston. That will be set aside in the accounts that they're currently in, which I believe there is a actual GL account that they're holding that money in for the tip, and we can use that towards future tip projects.
Thank you. One more question.
All right.
Do you have any idea what the timetable is yet on Huddleston for construction and not construction? I know this is really about the money, but I just wondered if you could just share that if you have it.
I don't have the exact timeline, but I do know WASA has already proceeded forward with looking at design plans that involve running the sewer down there, and that will require the road to actually be realigned in certain areas. There's also discussions of a cart path adjacent to it, and then you tackle in we've reached out to GDOT about having dual left turn lanes. So there's kind of a lot going on there. We probably should just let those projects continue to move forward, and the repaving will be done with the sewer project. You're more than likely going to have to repave the entire road. So,
Thank you, Jonathan.
okay.
Questions?
Yeah, Jonathan, do we have an estimate for that road? I mean, $100,000 was what we were putting into the total pot.
Right, that's our 20% match. So it was a 20% match. That would put it at
500.
close to $1 million.
Yeah.
500.
500,000.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the recommendation as written.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. New agenda item 12405, consider IMS path rating proposal.
All right, so there was a presentation for this, but I'll just kind of briefly go over it. So what we're bringing to council is the IMS path rating proposal. The purpose of this is to replicate the city street pavement rating analysis that we've done onto the city cart paths. There's about 100 miles, and it'll provide us with pavement condition indexes, some asset collection on the path, and also allow for budget development for the whole path network as far as future paving. What I had in the presentation was basically comparing our current path rating method. So right now, it's completed by multiple public works staff out in the field. They're what's called windshield surveys. They're driving down, marking distresses and rating those distresses. They're extremely time consuming and they're susceptible to inconsistencies. You've got multiple people going around, and while there is a form that they're following, some people may see, this is a 90, some may see it as a 70. In contrast, IMS, exactly what they did for our road, it'll be more objective data. So the pavement distresses will be measured with laser arrays, LiDAR. It'll give us those PCIs, just like they do for the streets, allow us to project 5-year models, just like we do with the streets, and allows for prioritization of the paths as far as the paving schedule. The asset collection that we're looking at getting from them in the proposal is for signage. Capture all the path signage, that way we can see where we have signage. We can create work orders off of any of those signages, and we can also see where the need for signage may be along the path. That's something that the infield guys, just time-wise, don't have time to collect, because that's not their primary job. And then additionally, what you'll see in the proposal is what we're looking at them doing is an ADA assessment. So their equipment and their profiler will actually be able to give us running slopes and cross slopes, and we can use that to kind of find those problematic areas or those issues within the path system. So the recommendation is that City Council approve the path rating proposal from IMS for $47,375. As far as budget, the funds will be paid for out of the SPLOST account. So for our path resurfacing, it will come out of there. It's a professional service.
This is right up your alley.
I tend to always be here when it comes to paving, I guess.
It looks like it's a nice step into the 21st century for the path system, so kudos.
Good
We
job.
had a
Question?
lot of success with the streets, so we
Questions?
decided to extend it.
Questions?
Any questions?
I asked all my questions the other day.
Sure enough, we all did.
Yep, we sure did.
Can I get a motion?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we accept,
Approve, a motion to approve.
motion to approve the item on the agenda for no, resurfacing the cart path
01-2405.
01-24. Thank you, Clint.
In the amount of?
$47,375.
I have a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Public hearing, 12406, sign variance request for 2801 Highway 54, discount tires.
The protocol is as follows. When the public hearing is opened, members of the council will become hearers. No action on their part is in order until the mayor declares the hearing complete. First, city staff will present the request and provide an assessment of compliance with city code. The mayor will then allow up to 10 minutes for speakers on each side of the issue to present evidence. No individual member of the public will be given more than 5 minutes to speak. Time limits may only be extended by a majority vote of council and will be divided equally between those supporting and those opposing the issue. The mayor will recognize the applicant and those supporting the issue to present evidence. Remarks will be limited to a total of 10 minutes. The mayor will then recognize those opposing the issue to present evidence for up to 10 minutes. Prior to closing the public hearing, city staff and the public will be given the opportunity to ask questions of either or both sides of the issue. When the mayor and council are assured the presentation of evidence is complete, the public hearing shall be ended, and council may then debate the issue and render a decision. All speakers from the public are asked to follow these rules. 1, please wait to be recognized by the mayor. 2, come to the microphone and state your name and neighborhood prior to making remarks. 3, keep individual remarks under 5 minutes and do not repeat comments. And 4, address all comments to the mayor. Thank you.
I'll give you some of the basic information about the request. The property is located at 2801 Highway 54. It is the Discount Tires location. They are zoned GC and in the Corridor Overlay Zoning District. There is a maximum wall area sign area granted to GC properties on corner lots, which is 150 total square feet. The applicant is requesting 184.7 square feet. They are also asking to have an internally illuminated sign. Our sign ordinance prohibits internal illumination of a sign face, and that is what they're asking for. If you drive down the corridor at night, you will notice that there is what's called backlighting, or sometimes called halo lighting for signage. We do allow that, but the front face of a sign cannot be internally illuminated, and that is part of their request as well. I did want to remind you and everybody at home that the sign variance criteria are different than the zoning variance criteria. I will briefly summarize them. The 4 criteria are: it is the visibility of a conforming sign from the street would be substantially impaired by existing trees, plants, natural features, signs, buildings, or structures, and that placement of the sign elsewhere on the lot would not remedy the visual obstruction, and that the visibility obstruction was not created by the owner of the property, and that the variance would not create a life or safety hazard to vehicular or pedestrian traffic. Thank you.
Thank you. Is the applicant here, and would you like to add any comments?
Hi, good evening. Apologies for coming up here way too early.
It's okay.
Yeah, so.
Could you start by introducing
Oh,
yourself?
sure. My name is Mike Hammond from
Turn
Apollo
the
Sign
microphone
representing.
up too.
It's on.
There you go.
It's on.
Here we go.
There
Hey,
you
there
go.
we go.
We can hear you.
All right, forgive me. Yes, I'm with Apollo Sign. We are the installer and permit applicant representing Discount Tire. In a nutshell, Discount Tire, the shape of their sign, their brand standard. They do not have a linear format for their brand anymore. As the old signs on the building right now, it's discount tire. They don't have that format for their branding anymore. It's always the stacked version, which is discount up top in the big red letters, and then a little tiny pill box that's this big that says tire down there. So currently, what code requires when you calculate the square footage of each sign, you draw a single rectangular box around the sign and you get your square footage. In this case, with that design of their brand standard requires, there's a lot of dead space left over on the either side of tire, so you lose a lot of that available square footage. So what they're requesting is, may we calculate the square footage differently by drawing our lines around the letters and bringing it down and drawing, basically trying to get as much real estate as you can while falling into what we would refer to as the square footage of what sign code will allow. Just a matter of changing how it's calculated. That will get them under the square footage, but also maximize maximizing the visibility of their brand is their ultimate goal. With regard to the internal illumination, they're simply trying to achieve what they can with the way the logo and the alternating colors, red versus white, that pop of the difference in that red and white, and again, just maximizing visibility. Halo lighting will substantially reduce that big popping difference between red and white. So that's where the nature of that variance is coming from. So that's really about it.
Thank you.
Sure.
At this time, I'll open the public hearing. Would anybody who wishes to speak in favor, please take the microphone. Seeing none, is there anyone who wishes to speak in opposition? Seeing none, I hereby close the public hearing. Council? Who wants to start?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to deny this variance request.
Comments first.
That's okay. She's
She has the right to do
she's
that.
made a motion.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Now we'll open for council discussion. Anyone have comments they wish to share?
I have comments.
Go ahead.
Was the owner there? Would you come back up to the couch?
Suzanne, yours is the
So why, when you look at this paper we have, which I'm sure you've drawn, or why can't you cut the sides of this, the backboard up at the D and the T? Are you looking at this? You've got,
Yeah, I'm not following.
well, you've got a lot of space on both sides of this that's blank.
Mhm.
Do you have to have that?
On both sides of the tire pillbox?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct. That has to be counted in the calculation of the square footage.
I
And-
realize that,
Oh.
but why do you have to have that? Why can't you shorten that and it'll be counted as, Robin, do you know what I'm talking about?
I think his argument is the way our ordinance requires sign calculation is you have to draw a box from the tallest to the lowest and the furthest points out. And so it doesn't matter the shape of that, whatever that area is the maximum, is 150 square feet.
But what I'm saying is you can still do that, but you just draw it to the D and to the T. You don't need all that extra space.
That's what we're requesting to do. Yes, sir.
No, that's not what I'm seeing here.
That's not what I'm saying either.
So would you say, Robin, would you say it's fair to state that from the left side of the word D to the right side, or the letter D to the right side of the letter T, that's the measurement area?
That is, yes, sir.
That is the measurement.
Oh, that is. It just shows it in the drawings that it's got the discount and then it's got more space to the left and right. Is that the old sign that's part of that, or if you look at the pictures, I'm just,
Right. That's all I'm
Could you be
saying.
talking about the raceway behind the
Oh.
image?
Oh, yeah, that's part of the building, its design itself.
ah,
That's not part of their sign.
that's
and
part of the
not-
building, it's not part of the sign.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, that was unclear. I appreciate that.
So it's not the red
It's
brick
the raceway
building?
behind it.
No, no, sir. That's
Okay.
just part of the building
Okay.
that happens to be a different color.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
That didn't make a lot of sense. Why would they be doing that? But okay. I understand.
Comments, concerns, nothing more to share?
No, I just, I think everybody knows that I don't like variances. But at the same time, I'm in support of all of our commercial people here in the city. But in this particular case, you can still stay within the guidelines of our ordinance at 150 square feet. That may mean slightly smaller to stay in there. So if it's right now in front of us at 184 feet, I'm not in favor of that.
Thank you. Any other comments?
There's also the issue, not sure if this is working, there's also the issue of the lighting. Not in favor of the lit sign.
Internally illumination. Yeah. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of the denial, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry. Council staff topics. We have an upcoming city council retreat. Peachtree City Council and our executive leadership team are going to take 2 days off site next week, Thursday and Friday, the 25th and 26th of January. And the city of Fayetteville has been gracious enough to host and offer their meeting facilities and training room there. So we're all excited about getting off site. Any other council staff topics?
Yes, Mayor, I do, if you don't mind. Mayor and Council, I'd like to take a moment and say that we are extremely happy and excited to announce that we have hired our Director of Human Resources, and she's with us this evening. Just really quick, and I don't want to embarrass her too much because I promised I wouldn't. Her name is Dr. Tia Alston Bing. She's got an impressive background in human resources, a PhD as well. We're very fortunate to have her. This is her third day now, so I'm trying not to scare her too much, but I thought I had alphabet soup after my name, and she's got all of the alphabet after her name. So I would just like to give her a warm welcome and introduce her to us. If you want to speak, you can speak.
Yes, of course. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Curnow. Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. Dr. Tia Alston Bing, affectionately known as Dr. Tab. It is an honor to stand before you this evening, and it is a privilege to be a public servant. I am so grateful for this opportunity. I look forward to serving the employees as well as the residents of Peachtree City. And I'm just excited. I'm glad to be chosen. To whom much is given, much is required. And I look forward to bringing my background and experience and knowledge in the human resources industry to Peachtree City. This is my 15th year in local government, and I'm just excited this evening. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have, but again, it is an honor and a privilege to stand before you and to serve Peachtree City.
Thanks very much. Welcome. Yes.
I want to make a comment about this young lady. May I call you young lady? I took classes at the GMA, the Georgia Municipal Association. It's for elected officials to take classes so we get better and better at what we do. I took a class with this lady in human resources, absolutely stunning lecturer, teacher, and advocate for the HR group. This lady got a standing ovation by all the people at the end of the class. Everybody loved what she did. I hope I haven't embarrassed you a bit, but if I did, I'm sorry. But I think this is a tremendous addition to our city. Welcome.
Thank you. Any other council staff topics? Do we have executive session?
We do, Mayor. We need to discuss pending or threatened litigation.
Make a motion that we go into executive session for
Second.
pending resolution on
Pending or threatened litigation.
pending or threatened litigation.
I'll second
I have
that.
a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are in executive session. Thank you.